What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I got 3 quick hit scouting report videos to do today. 3 more that I have not yet done for week 3, so I'm going to wrap those up over the course of the day. Today is going to be the New Orleans Saints and the New England Patriots. So real quick before I get into, the game, the stats and the league standings and all that, which there is some interesting stuff in there to take a look at. I'd say that both of these teams, both of these games could go either way as far as, if the Dolphins win or not. With the Saints, if I got to keep it real, I mean, it's an away game for the Dolphins, and I think I'm probably going to lean a little bit more towards the Saints. I've had that as a loss on the schedule for, a while now, since before the preseason and stuff, and I think that, if I had to choose, I would probably still lean in that direction, but it is a game that could go either way. And, both of these teams have had kind of a, up and down first 3 weeks of the season. Um, you know, the Saints started off with an amazing win against the Green Bay Packers. Then they lost. Then they just beat the Patriots. The Patriots just barely lost to us in week 1, obviously, right? They were about to win, and then we got the Xavier Howard fumble. Then they won the next week, I believe, against the Jets. And then they lost this week against the Saints. So a little bit up and down, a little bit more up for the Saints as they're 2-1. The Patriots are 1-2. Yeah, and for the Patriots, I originally had us losing to them against in Foxborough. They got that win though, barely obviously, but us winning against the Patriots when they come down to Florida. But if I'm keeping it real, that is a game that I think, like I said, could go either way. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into the actual stats and statistics right now. Because like I said, I mean, these are quick hit videos. I'm not going into like, super reasons why and stuff. That'll be more for the preview videos. But this is just to keep an eye on these teams to see how they're doing, to get a better feel for them, and to keep a pulse on them throughout the season. So the Saints are now 2-1, as I mentioned. The Patriots are now 1-2 after this game. It was a 28-13 margin. And let's take a look at the statistics. So the New Orleans Saints had 252 total yards, 300 for the Patriots, 110 through the air for the Saints, and 251 for the Patriots, 142 on the ground for New Orleans, and 49 for the Patriots there. It's actually kind of surprising. You would think the Patriots would run the ball a bit more. Anyway, average yards per play, 4.1 for New Orleans, 4.3 for the Patriots. No fumbles for either team, and unfortunately, well, I guess unfortunately for Mac Jones, it's not really an unfortunate thing for the Dolphins, especially if he does this when we play him, but he threw 3 interceptions, and that obviously didn't help their situation when it came to this game. New Orleans let up 3 sacks. New England let up 2. New Orleans had a 46% conversion percentage on third down. New England only had 36. The Saints had the ball for 32-48. New England's 27-12. New Orleans had 2 penalties, and the Patriots had 4. So let's see. Mac Jones was 30 for 51, 270, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions. He also was apparently their leading rusher, which, wow. I'm just going to say that. That's not something you want to see out of, Mac Jones or the Patriots offense. You don't want Mac Jones to be your leading rusher. If he's got to run and occasionally, because it happens to every quarterback, okay, but that's not really his game. You definitely don't want him being the top guy. Anyway, he had 6 rushes for 28 yards and a 4.7, though. Pretty solid in an average run. Damian Harris was 6 of 14 and 2.3. Obviously not much there otherwise. Kendrick Bourne led the way in receiving, 6 of 8, 96 and a touchdown. Jacoby Myers, 9 of 14, 94. Hunter Henry, 5 of 6, 36. Brandon Bolden, 3 of 4, 23. Nelson Aguilar, 2 of 8 for 17. Yeah, I mean, the Patriots, they're an interesting team this year. I mean, their defense is going to be pretty solid, I think, throughout the entire season. And I still hold firm to the fact that I think the Patriots are overall going to run the ball mostly, even though it obviously didn't pan out that way in that game. Part of it probably was because they were playing from behind. But that's where they're going to be mostly predicated, and they're going to let Mac Jones have an easy season as far as not putting too much on his plate overall. Anyway, Jameis Winston was 13 for 21, a buck 28 and 2 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara, 24 rushes, 89 yards and a 3.7. Taysom Hill, 6 rushes for 32 yards, 1 touchdown and a 5.3. Tony Jones, 2 rushes for 12 yards and a 6 average. In receiving, Marquez Callaway was 4 of 5, 41 and a touchdown. Deontay Harris, 3 of 3 for 31. Alvin Kamara, 3 of 4 for 29 and a score. Kenny Stills, who is back in New Orleans, interestingly enough, right? Because that's where he came from when we got him. 1 of 3 for 17. And Tony Jones, 2 of 2 for 10. Yeah, man, and the Saints are an interesting team. I think that they would be... I think that they're going to be in the mix of things throughout the entire season as far as like playoffs and stuff go. But Jameis Winston is kind of up and down, and it's just going to be an interesting situation to keep an eye on throughout the season as it progresses, and that's part of the reason why I'm doing these quick hit scouting report videos, so we can do just that. And so let's get into these league standings, because this really helps to further paint the picture of where they're, how they're producing and where they're, where they stand and where their strengths and weaknesses are for each team. So New Orleans Saints, total offense and total yards and yards per game, they rank 31st with 702 total, 234 per game. The Patriots are 24th with 953 total and 317 per game. The Saints are 32nd in the league with 390 total passing yards. Through 3 games, they've only thrown 390 yards. That's pretty crazy. And 130 passing per game. Let's see. The Patriots are 23rd in total yards passing, which is 737, and 22nd per game, which is 245.7. Rushing, the Saints have 361 total, which has them at 11th, and 120.3, which has them at 9th per game. The Patriots are 24th in both categories with 275 total and 91.7 per game. The Saints are 16th in total points with 73 and 14th overall with 24.3 per game. And the Patriots are 27th in both categories with 54 total and 18 per game. Defensively, the Saints are giving up. Now, look, both of these teams have really good overall numbers when it comes to defense, and I think both teams' defenses are probably going to remain in the top half of the league, if not maybe top 10. And this is why, and that's part of the reason why I said either of these games could go either way. When you look at the offensive production for the Saints, that's something that the Dolphins should be able to take advantage of, but they might also have a hard time against the Saints defense, for example, right? So let's see. The Saints are giving up 304 total yards per game, which is 6th. The Patriots are giving up 282.3, which is 5th. Passing yards per game, the Saints are giving up 258.7, which is 15th. Patriots are only giving up 180, which is 2nd. Rushing yards per game, Saints are giving up 60.3, which is 3rd. Patriots 122.7, which has them at 24th. Points per game, the Saints are only giving up 14 points, which is 3rd in the league. The Patriots are only giving up 17, which is 15th in the league. Takeaways, the Saints are 2nd with 7. Patriots 9th with 5. And again, as I just so people know, there are technically ties, a lot of ties still going on with these stats. We probably at least until the middle of the year, it'll be a lot like that. Then we'll start getting a lot more clarification where these teams actually stand. But just keep in mind right now there is still some bunching. But this is just where they happen to fall on the list. I'm not putting in the ties. I'm just putting where they actually fall on the list. Anyway, so interceptions, the Saints are 2nd with 6. 3rd for the Patriots with 5. The Saints have 1 fumble, which is 20th. The Patriots have 0, which is 28th. Sacks, the Saints have 6, which is 18th. 9 for the Patriots, which is 9th. 16 passes defensed for the Saints, which is 6th, and 12 for the Patriots, which is 13th. And then, of course, as I usually do, to give you guys a peek at where the Dolphins stand. These are the offensive league standings and the defensive league standings for your Miami Dolphins. And with that, that ends my first quick hit video, quick hit scouting report video of the day. I got 2 more for you, so look out for that. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys appreciate my perspective. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. Of course, as always, follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, I'm out. I'll see y'all soon. Phins up.